Hey, we're doing something really quite unique. Forget your typical research papers or articles. Our source material for this deep dive is something much more immediate, much more human. Just a collection of everyday conversations. These are dialogues that, while on the surface, might seem completely mundane. But our mission today is to dig beyond just the words, to really unpack what these real-life interactions teach us. Teach us about navigating daily life, building relationships, even solving problems. Honestly, these aren't just language lessons. They feel like profound life lessons waiting to be discovered.
Precisely. Yeah, the hidden value in looking at these, seemingly ordinary moments is just huge. Think of these conversations as a kind of hidden curriculum. They offer these incredibly rich insights into the subtle cues that shape our behavior, the nuanced dynamics of our social world, all those unspoken rules we navigate every single day. By really paying attention, you'd be amazed how much deep understanding we can pull from what seems ordinary.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning of the day. What did these little snippets tell us about how people handle their daily routines and adapt to those unexpected things that always pop up? Like, take the simple act of getting coffee. We hear someone saying, almost every morning, it's my thinking spot. And then this incredibly relatable bit, too much time at home drives me crazy. I start talking to my plants. My cactus even has a name. It's Bob. That last one, it just really lands, doesn't it? I mean, I know that feeling.
Oh, absolutely. It totally does. And it's more than just the caffeine, right? This little coffee shop snippet, it reveals a kind of micro strategy for self-regulation in modern life. For lots of people, it's a deliberate change of environment, like a third space.
Yeah.
It acts as a mental circuit breaker, helping them switch between home mode and work mode, which can help prevent burnout. And it fosters this sense of routine-driven independence. It's not just getting out of the house. It's about consciously shifting their mental landscape.
That's a really great point about micro-strategies. But what happens when those daily rhythms get totally derailed? We've got a great example here of morning mishaps. Missing the bus after hitting snooze too many times. Somebody bids, I stayed up late watching a movie, then I snoozed my alarm 3 times. And then that classic bit of luck. Luckily, he was late too, so I kind of got away with it.
What's this telling us about how people react when their, carefully planned day just falls apart?
Well, this snippet, simple as it seems, it perfectly shows that immediate human response to minor screw-ups. The scramble, the bit of self-blame, and then that unexpected relief when something else goes your way. It really highlights our sort of built-in ability to adapt and find quick, often improvised solutions. And you hear those echoes of shared wisdom in the advice people give. Try reading before bed instead of watching something, or set 2 alarms like I do. Ooh, these aren't just practical tips. They're almost social scripts for avoiding that same discomfort later on. Okay, so we've seen how people adapt to the everyday grind. But humans are fundamentally social beings, aren't we? Which brings us really nicely to the next layer in these conversations, the whole art of connection.
Yeah,
it's so clear from these dialogues. There's this fundamental human need, this craving for connection. You hear someone genuinely appreciating just talking to another person. Honestly, it's nice to talk to a real person for a change. And the other person agreeing, I completely agree with you. Real conversations are rare these days. What's really going on there underneath that sentiment?
What's truly insightful, I think, is that deep-seated desire for authentic presence, especially now in our increasingly digital world. Even really brief exchanges, at a coffee shop or just passing someone, they can be deeply satisfying because they fulfill that innate human need for genuine connection. It's not just the words. It's about the shared space, maybe the eye contact, the validation of just being seen and heard by another human, even for a moment.
Right. And then we have that really heartwarming scenario, reconnecting with an old friend. Imagine hearing, I haven't seen you in ages, Mark. And the friend replies, closer to 7, I think. Wow. They catch up on career changes. You always said you wanted to teach. I did. And now I actually enjoy Mondays. That's huge. And life in different cities. City life can be crazy but exciting. Before ending with, we have so much to catch up on, want to grab a coffee nearby.
Yeah.
It really feels like they just picked up right where they left off, doesn't it?
It really does. And that's a testament to the powerful sort of anchoring effect of having a shared history.
Yeah.
When people say they pick up right where they left off, it's often because that deep bond provides a kind of psychological anchor. It lets them bridge years of change pretty easily. It really highlights how enduring friendship can be despite time and distance and the comfort you get from returning to a connection you trust.
It does, yeah. But is it really just picking up where they left off? Or is there maybe an unspoken effort there, like a conscious choice to bridge those years and reestablish things despite the changes?
That's a very sharp question.
Yeah.
While the surface impression feels effortless, there's absolutely a subtle kind of dance happening, a sort of recalibration. They're quickly scanning for common ground, shared understanding. They're kind of negotiating how much they've each changed and how much is still the same. It's actually a testament to the strength of the relationship that this recalibration feels so natural, so seamless.
Okay. And it's not always these deep reconnections, right? Sometimes connection is more about those casual social dynamics like sharing news or, okay, maybe gossip in the park. Someone's eager to share. I have some juicy news to share. Prompting the excited reply, ooh, really? Spilled the tea. Love that phrase.
Yeah.
And then the reveal. Sarah from our office. She's dating Tom from the marketing team. Followed by the classic, that's interesting. Do you think it's serious?
Right. And while it's often dismissed as trivial, this gossip snippet is a classic example of what anthropologists call social grooming. It's a pretty low-stakes way for people to reinforce group bonds, share social information, and subtly figure out social hierarchies. All while kind of affirming shared values and keeping the group together. It's a really fundamental, almost primal part of social interaction that helps define us versus them within a social circle. And here, we're just observing how people engage with and pass on social information, not endorsing the content itself, obviously.
That makes sense. So from the joys of connection, we often find ourselves facing shared challenges together. And it turns out our everyday chats are also full of strategies for problem solving and planning for the future. Like think about a practical problem, the hotel room issue. A guest reports, the lights aren't working. Simple enough. The hotel staff's response, I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. It could be a fuse. I'll send maintenance right away. And they even proactively offer, please take this voucher. It's on the house. What's really remarkable about that interaction?
Well, it isn't just about good customer service, though it is that too. It's a really insightful demonstration of proactive empathy and what's called service recovery. The staff didn't just fix the immediate problem, the lights. They anticipated the guests' potential lingering frustration. And they addressed it with a gesture of goodwill, the voucher. They acknowledge the emotional impact of the hassle and offer immediate, tangible compensation. It effectively turns a negative experience into a potentially positive one for the brand, and it rebuilds trust.
Okay, shifting gears a bit to academic challenges. We hear the frustration of a research project. This research paper is giving me a headache. I've been looking at the same paragraph for about 20 minutes. We've all been there. And the struggle to find the right sources. Most of the articles I found are too technical and don't talk about the social impacts we wanted to focus on. But then a little glimmer of hope emerges. Professor Lee mentioned a documentary that might help. And the collaborative realization, 2 heads are better than 1. If nothing works, we can always meet with Professor Lee for some help.
Yeah, this scene perfectly illustrates the kind of cognitive reframing that's often necessary in research. When you hit a wall, sometimes just changing your input source, like switching from dense articles to a documentary, can unlock totally new ways of seeing things. It highlights the value of collaboration for breaking through that individual feeling of being stuck, and, crucially, the maturity to know when it's time to bring in an expert, like Professor Lee. It's about understanding the limits of just trying harder on your own and tapping into that collective intelligence.
Right, and that collective intelligence, that teamwork, extends so well to academic support, like with the idea of a study group. When facing a daunting exam, someone says, there's so much to study, it feels overwhelming. But the reassurance comes fast. Don't worry, if we work together, it won't feel so hard. And we hear about practical strategies. Flashcards can really help with learning the order, and doing those practice problems will help us use what we've learned. I think we can split up the problems and quiz each other on them. And the result, this is starting to feel a little less scary.
Exactly. This underscores the concept of distributed cognition within a learning context. By pooling their resources and using specific, proven techniques like flashcards and quizzing each other, the group effectively reduces the cognitive load on each person. It transforms what felt like an overwhelming task into something manageable, just through shared responsibility and using smart strategies. And that builds confidence and definitely lowers the anxiety.
And as we look at problems from personal to academic, it feels like a natural jump to think about how these interactions shape our future, particularly career planning. We have this interaction at a career fair. A student asks, what kind of opportunities do you have for new graduates? Pretty standard question. The company rep responds, Technovation is always looking for talented developers. We have started an internship program. And they explain further that interns will get to work on different projects, from adding new features to our software to creating new applications. We encourage interns to share their ideas.
This conversation, it gives us insight into this sort of reciprocity of value in career development. It's a two-way street. The student is proactive, right? They're seeking opportunities, showing initiative. And the company, in turn, doesn't just list job openings. They highlight an internship program that's specifically designed for active learning and contribution. This really emphasizes that a successful entry into a career often involves getting exposure to diverse projects and being in an environment where new ideas are actually valued, not just following a static job description.
Okay, so now let's explore the lighter side of life. But just as important, that these conversations illuminate the fabric of family and fun, shared experiences, and community. Yeah, this theme really captures how leisure, family time, and getting involved in the community just make daily life richer. Take family breakfast, for instance. We hear that playful negotiation. Pancakes. I like cereal better. Hon, let her have cereal. That just means all these delicious pancakes will be mine. Classic parent move. And then that common little morning crisis. We're out of coffee powder. How am I supposed to function without my morning coffee? Oh, the horror indeed.
Exactly. These snippets perfectly showcase those subtle negotiations and the humor that really defines family interactions. It's often in these minor crises, like the missing coffee powder or the playful power dynamics over who gets what for breakfast, that individual personalities really shine through, and the shared laughter creates those lasting, often quite understated family memories. It's like a little microcosm of the everyday give and take within a family.
And these shared moments continue with things like baking together. Mom is helping me bake cupcakes for the school fair, with instructions like, you can be in charge of stirring. And the gentle reminder, slow down, honey. We don't want cupcake batter all over the kitchen. Been there too. Then there's family movie night. Who's ready to pick a movie? With the debates. Toy Story is a great choice, but we've seen it a few times already. How about Shrek? And the essential question. I'd love it if we had more popcorn. No movie night is complete without popcorn. That's just a fact.
It really is. The true insight here, I think, is how these seemingly simple activities function as ritualized bonding experiences. They're definitely more than just tasks. They are vital for strengthening family cohesion, for building those shared narratives. Even the minor preparations like stirring batter or debating movies or making the popcorn, they become part of this larger cherished ritual, and that fosters a sense of belonging and really strengthens the emotional connections between family members.
Moving outdoors now, we have the weekend picnic. Someone observes, this is the best spot in the park. Lots of shade, and we can see the playground from here. Smart planning. With those classic family requests. Can I have ice cream, Mom? Cookies are for after lunch, little guy. The eternal struggle and the desire to engage everyone. I want to play soccer with you, Dad. I'll take some photos of you for Grandma and Grandpa. Capturing the moment. Then there are hiking plans being made. There's a nice one about an hour from here, and it's not too difficult, and the views are amazing. Sounds good. With the idea to pack a picnic and make a day of it.
This really emphasizes the profound benefits of nature-based family activities, getting outside together. These shared outdoor experiences, they aren't just about physical activity, though that's good too. They create fantastic opportunities for interaction across generations and for forming these lasting, really multi-sensory memories. They help people connect more deeply both with nature and with each other. And that often leads to a sense of well-being that sticks around long after the hike or picnic is over.
And finally, broadening the scope out to the community and cultural engagement. We hear about a Green Club meeting, planning an Earth Day event on campus. Ideas like set up a booth with information about how to live in an eco-friendly way, give away reusable shopping bags or seed packets, and a clothing swap to promote sustainable fashion. Great ideas. And then the excitement around a Vietnamese culture festival. This makes me feel homesick already. We should definitely go. Talking about traditional food vendors, Vietnamese folk music performances. What about Vietnamese coffee? Must have coffee. And the inclusive idea to bring some of our friends who don't know about Vietnamese culture.
Yeah, a really profound takeaway here is the power of collective efficacy people working together to drive social change. You see that with the Green Club fostering environmental awareness through real, tangible actions. And at the same time, the cultural festival highlights the importance of affirming identity and the role that sharing culture plays in fostering broader community understanding. These events serve as these vital channels for individuals to connect with their own roots while also generously sharing their heritage to build bridges with others in the community.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's actually pretty incredible to think about the sheer range of human experience we found just within these seemingly simple conversations. I mean, from the chaos of a missed bus and the frustration of a tough research paper to the quiet joy of a family picnic and the excitement of planning a career. These weren't just dialogues. They really were windows into the microdynamics of human behavior.
That's right. The true insight, maybe, is how mastering any language, or any other, isn't just about the words, the vocabulary, the grammar rules. It's really about understanding that rich tapestry of everyday life that language describes and actually shapes. The social nuances, the hidden psychological currents running underneath. These everyday conversations really are a deep dive into the practicalities and also the profound joys of just human interaction. So, thinking about how much we've unpacked from these little snippets today, what small, seemingly insignificant conversation in your own week might actually hold a deeper lesson or maybe a surprising insight if you only took a moment to truly unpack it?